Cameras off. For those of you who don't know, I have a low vision, but today we're going to talk about Round Valley in New Jersey. In 1956, the residents were forced to leave Round Valley for a reservoir to be made. But in 1966, they started filling the reservoir. They fought and fought the residents of the town to stay, but the state of New Jersey took their land away and sold their livestock, sold all their farm equipment and everything, and didn't give the people even time to get their homes or anything out. They gave them a deadline. Only 6 houses were moved out of the valley, and all the others were bulldozed for the lake to be made / reservoir. In 1972, the mayor of New York City was arrested for making this project and forcing the residents out of Round Valley and selling their things. He was brought to criminal court and held liable, and he died in 1984. And the other gentleman who was part of it died in 1990, who was part of it. There are still survivors from that valley that were forced to leave still alive. And some of the homes that they moved out of the valley sit above the valley on a road near it. The road never even had a name when they moved the homes to it. They had many struggles moving the homes. Some of the homes fell off the vehicles that were moving them, and lots of con artists took advantage of the innocent people around that time. And there were 2 farmers who tried to fight and stay the longest and try and fight against the state, but unfortunately they did not win. The state won. And after they built the reservoir for the water, unfortunately, they didn't need it after they forced all the people out. All the plans were scrapped and it was just left a lake. Today, it's a state park / lake. But back in the day, it was supposed to be a major reservoir because all the droughts that were happening from 1920 all the way up to 1950s. They were afraid of another drought happening and no drinking water being for New York City or the surrounding cities in New Jersey and New York City. But many people still remember Round Valley. Residents that lived there that were forced out said it was a nice place. They never had to lock their doors. They always left their doors unlocked. And they never had to worry about crime or anything. It was a nice small community where neighbors helped neighbors, farmers helped farmers, and so on. The people there were very nice and very kind. It's a town that should be remembered, and it should be a memorial put at the state park as remembrance of the town that was forgotten in New Jersey. Now, if you never heard of it, they say if you go there, you can see parts of the buildings still under the water when the water is low. But some say you can't, some say you can. It's on one of my bucket lists to go check out, and I'll let you all know it and I check it out. But I highly recommend checking that out. It's called Round Valley, and it's a sad story about how the state forced people to leave. Yes, they did buy the land, but they ripped the people off. They didn't pay them what the land was worth. And the people did not want to sell, but they said you have no choice, you have to. And they did not get what their homes was worth. They weren't allowed to take their livestock or anything like that. The state sold the livestock for them, meaning the state got the money, and they sent criminals in, prisoners, to bulldoze down the buildings that were left. And not all of them were bowled down like they were supposed to. They left some standing. And there was only one road in and out of the valley. But to move the homes, like I told you, there weren't many homes that got moved, but the ones that were, they built the road up a hill to a new dirt road that never had a name. And it was very challenging because it was a steep hill to move the homes. That's why they ended up not moving them, because they were too hard to move up the hill. And in 1966, they started pumping water into the valley, and it was completed in 1970. The whole valley was completely full of billions and billions of gallons of water. And today, it looks like a lake. You would never know what hides under the surface until you do your research on the history. I highly recommend checking it out because it was a great community that once lived there, great town. even dates back to the Native Americans that also lived there and created villages of their own way back in the day in the 18 and 1900s. It has rich history that is dated back way far. I highly recommend checking it out and putting it on your bucket list of things to do. And don't forget to subscribe to see more awesome videos. Don't forget to check out my YouTube page to see I do all different kinds of videos, many different kinds. You might find one that you like. Check it out when you get a chance. See you all in the next cool video.
Shutter.